Hey guys, Terry here. I'm so glad to be with you today. I'm barely getting in with you. I apologize for the delay today. It was the kids' physicals. And like I said, karma is a bitch. I'm kind of a wussy mama. I always made Pete go and take the baby for her vaccines, And today I got my comeuppance for damn sure. Maddie was horrific. She's 5 years old, 3 shots. And so I got all that stuff that I had been, I just got it. Like, I'm pretty sure my husband is pretty happy that, because I didn't take the baby when she was a baby because I was worried my anxiety would keep her, would stress her out, but she really gave me a run for my money today. It was 2 hours of nonstop screaming, and it's been a long day. And now the coach just texts and says, you got to be at the baseball field in 45 minutes. So I did want to jump in because I feel like I haven't seen you guys in so long. I do think about you and love you and miss you, and I love this group, and I'm happy to be here. Happy to talk with you. So I'm going to answer some questions. So if you want to throw some questions up on me, I see people are here with me live. I see Michael and Jeremy and Shannon. Hey Shannon and Brian. So feeling really good today, despite my torturous event at the pediatrician. And I'm like, y'all are lucky I'm not sitting here with a beer in my hand. So I do want to answer some questions. So if you have something, though, go ahead and put them up there. I know that Charles had asked about how to start dating after 28 years. And you said, Charles, it's only been 6 months. It's okay to, take your time, too, right? Take your time and understand that you need to work on yourself first. And I know someone had posted back, hey, it takes 3 to 5 years for every, I don't know, however many years your marriage, which in your case would be something like 9 years that you would wait to date. So I don't like those formulas because everyone's different. And I don't believe that time heals all wounds, right? Y'all have heard me say this. It's what you do with the time. I'm telling you, if you make a conscious effort to really heal yourself and work on the issues and diagnose what went wrong in your relationship, you can be a totally different person in 6 months. I guarantee it. I've seen people transform very quickly if you're willing to dive in and dig into the pain and really look at yourself and do the work. You can, heal in a matter of months, not a matter of years. So do I think you should jump into the dating pool right now? It doesn't sound like from your post, it doesn't sound like, Charles, you are ready, but there's definitely stuff you can do to get ready. And listen, it's a whole new ball game. I think a lot of the guys in here will attest that it is a whole new ball game. And online dating, I'll be honest with you, online dating takes a lot of energy and mindfulness. You got to know yourself. And I was just talking with the client today about being honest and setting up boundaries and all those things. And if you're not capable of doing that, you are definitely not ready. And it takes some time to jump back into the dating pool and to know when you're ready. So I don't prescribe a certain amount of time, but it's what you do with that time. And I know one of the things that we're going to be talking about in our Men Healing from Divorce program is the specific tools and strategies that you can use to get back into the dating pool and how to know when you're ready, right? You know when your boundaries are ready and when you're ready to stop being a nice guy and start standing up for yourself. And know, hey, I feel good about myself and confident enough about myself that I can say no to a woman or set up boundaries with a partner. Because that's to be totally honest with you, people come to me when they start seeing their and I wish more people would come to me before they start seeing the problems and start seeing the repetitious behavior. They're like, oh damn, another one. another one used me, another one manipulated me, another one cheated on me. And like, yeah, because you're missing the red flags. You're choosing people, you're choosing partners, you're choosing women they're gonna fill this wounded part of you, right? And when you stop doing that and you are no longer wounded and you are a whole person, you are gonna start attracting women that are like you. So it is really important. I use the terminology of like, you're gonna attract someone who's a mirror to yourself. And if you have this part of you that's seeking something, you're going to attract a woman who's going to try to fill that void, but maybe in a toxic way. Or you're seeking a validation in a certain area. I see it with people that like they're seeking, you know, certain, like especially that nice guy syndrome, where they're looking to please. So they're finding women who will certainly take advantage of that and take, and that nice guy wants to give because that's how he looks to feeling validated, and that's how he looks to feeling worthy by serving others. But the truth is he never gets anything back and ends up in a toxic relationship. So you've got to heal that, and those are the things that we're going to be addressing in our group program, is how to know when you're ready, how to put up healthy boundaries in a relationship and stick to them. A lot of people know, yeah, this is what I want and this is what I need, and then they meet that woman who somehow edges those boundaries, pushes those boundaries, and they end up, you know, right where they started from. And this kind of goes to this next one. So if y'all have questions, go ahead and post them while I'm on here live, because I'm limited. A nice guy is messaging us right now. So this kind of goes to this person said, Ryan, like, I love it. It was funny. Like, how do I stop laughing at my ex who's telling me about her, you know, who's cheated on him, I guess. And the wife is telling him about how he broke up with her. It's like a pity party. And I'm like, dude, Ryan, I hear ya. But at the same time, I got to ask you, why the hell do you know this? Why is she telling you this? Like, boundaries, guy, boundaries. Like, why would this even be a conversation? You're like, stop that. I don't want to hear about your love life. You fucked me over. Get out of here, right? So it's about boundaries. So I get it. So the next one is, okay, I'm reading the little comments that are coming up. So Mason's saying, yeah, I'm a nice guy. I let my partners walk over me. I see if I need fixing and I give all of myself to accommodate. Yes, Mason, yes. So that's what I'm saying about the mirror. There's still a part of you that is wounded. And even though you're in therapy, you feel like you can be selfish, but you need to make sure you're continuing to grow, because these things have deep roots. And so what is going on, I'll tell you, I'll diagnose you right here. You don't feel worthy. You don't feel like validated. So that's why you're seeking these women to validate you. And I give my clients specific tools. Trust me, they walk away with homework. You can talk to my clients like, oh, I got homework. I got this that I got to do. I got this exercise I need to go and do. That we fill that void, right? That you don't have to feel bad about being honest, or you don't need to feel guilty about putting your boundaries up. And trust me. So here's the thing, y'all. Here's what men I don't think, and maybe I need to write a post about this, because here's what men don't get. A healthy woman wants you to have boundaries. A healthy woman wants you to say no. Like, I want my husband to say no, and I want him to take care of himself, and I want him to go out with his baseball coach friends and have a good time, because I want him in that masculine energy, and I want him to come back to me and feel good about himself, right? A healthy woman wants you to have those boundaries. You are repelling healthy, strong, independent women if you don't have those boundaries. Trust me, I dated a nice guy, and I was like, oh my God, like he could not put up the healthy boundaries with his ex-wife. He didn't stand up for himself, and it was a huge turnoff. And I really think fondly of him, because what a great guy he was. And, you know, we dated, and, you know, he helped me through a difficult time and everything. But he couldn't handle a strong woman. He couldn't. And that was a problem. And, I could see how he was a pushover and stuff. And that's unattractive to healthy, strong, independent women. We want y'all to be in your masculine energy. We want you to say no. And we want, like, the healthy boundaries. And we want you to be honest. I want my husband to be honest with me. If he doesn't want to do something, I want to know that. And listen, I want him to be happy. And I don't want him to do things to make me happy. Like, it's a reciprocal relationship. It's an aligned, equal relationship. I am not his mama. He is not my daddy. That's not the kind of relationship I want. And that's not the kind of relationship we want either. And listen, it takes work. Don't get me wrong. We have our hiccups. We have our setbacks. But we both have the same conscious commitment to each other to make each other happy. And if it's a one-sided relationship, you're eventually not going to be happy, because what ends up happening with nice guys is they're not honest. They end up doing everything for their partner, sacrificing themselves, sacrificing their friendships, and you know what ends up happening? The woman ends up not getting what she wants because she might be broken or wounded herself, and she ends up leaving and finding someone else and cheating and whatnot. And then you end up alone anyway, or you are giving, and you're full of resentment and spite that you act passive aggressively. So, it's a lose-lose situation. So that's I kind of went off on that healthy boundary thing. I went off on the healthy boundary thing because I am a little bit frustrated, because I get on the phone with a lot of you guys lately, and I'm kind of seeing the patterns, and I'm seeing just this like, man, there is a way, there is a solution, right? So what do you do if you don't know what you want and need in the next potential partner? Okay, great question, Michael. Okay, thanks for clarifying that too. I think that's a great question. You have to figure that out by going within yourself. You have to go within yourself and figure out. Okay, so this is so cliche, but it is so true. Okay, so when people say, "Oh, you need to date yourself. You need to date yourself." Like, what the hell does that even mean? Date yourself. Okay. This is what that means. Michael, if you don't know what it is that you need right now, you shouldn't be dating, right? You need to date yourself. And you're like, oh my God, that sounds a little weird. What I mean by that is give yourself everything that you're wanting from another partner, right? You want to feel a certain way, you need to give that to yourself. You want to feel validated. You want to feel respected. Do things that make you feel respected and validated. Invest that time and energy and money into yourself before looking for a partner to give that to yourself. So if you're not sure what you need and want in a partner, you need to work on yourself first. You need to invest that time and energy in yourself. So it sounds like you really don't know yourself. A lot of times what I see with guys is that they have invested so much time in their partner or a woman that they've lost their identity. They don't know who they are. They don't know what their interests are. They don't know who they are anymore. So that's why I'm saying, like, date yourself. It sounds really odd. I don't mean go take yourself to the movies, unless that's really what you want to do. Unless you've sacrificed going and seeing action movies for 10 years or comic book movies for 10 years because you were in a relationship where that wasn't allowed. So if that's what you need, go do it, right? Go find yourself, go find your identity, go put yourself into some hobbies, right? And, come and talk to us about joining our group program, because that's one of the things we're going to be exploring is how to say no, how to put yourself first, how to have a self-care plan, how to know the red flags in a relationship. In our program, I have a half-day relationship intensive where we're going to dive deep into red flags with women, how to let go of the drama women, how to let go of the controlling women, how to understand relationships, how to communicate better in relationships, so that you know that. That doesn't sound weird. Okay. I wasn't sure if like in a men's group I should be saying, oh, date yourself. It does sound a little weird, but and I think it just sounds cliche because people don't know what that means to date yourself. It means do the things for yourself that you want other people to do for you. If you want you want validation, you want to feel respected, you want to feel acknowledged. Find that way to do that. Find those hobbies, find those interests, find something in your work that gives you those things, and make some goals for yourself. So I've got some questions from earlier in the week, so I want to make sure that I address those questions. And if you have some questions, post them. I appreciate y'all so much. Joey, how to overcome a toxic relationship and when to leave a toxic relationship. Yes, Joey. Okay, I know this is a hard one and this is not easy, and this is why you need support. So people who are in toxic relationships or abusive relationships, you can't do this alone, okay? But a lot of times people struggle with their relationships and leaving the toxic relationships because, I get this, my heart feels for you, because you're like, oh my God, I feel like I'm leaving my kids behind. Or I hear the sentiment of like, well, at least if I'm in the home, I can protect the kids or whatever. And I get that thinking. I get how you would think that. But the truth is, it's more detrimental for two people to stay in a toxic relationship. It's more detrimental for your kids to stay in that toxic relationship than it is for you to leave that. Okay, so here's why. Okay, I know that sounds counterintuitive, but they're gonna have at least one healthy, trust me, if you're in a toxic relationship, it's taking its toll on your health, it's taking your toll on your mental health. It is really, really destructive to both of you. But if you leave, at least you're giving your kids a vantage point of seeing a healthy parent and like what that healthy parent is like. And again, your whole energy will change, your mental health will change, your physical health will change. And granted, your kids may still see that unhealthy mom and she may be very sick. I've seen it and I get it, and I get how hard that is. But at least they have a healthy role model. At least they'll have one healthy parent that they can reach out to and see and be a part of. And at least 50% of the time they're in a home that is safe and secure, which is better than 100% of the time in a home that is toxic and negative energy and full of toxicity and full of unhealthy dynamics. Pulling away, and listen, you're showing for them that your self-preservation is important, and you're teaching them that, and that's what you want to teach your kids. You don't want to teach your kids to stay in an unhealthy relationship. You don't want to teach your kids to sacrifice themselves for a marriage and again, trust me on this, because I talk to people who grew up in alcoholic homes. And you know what they say? Oh my God, I wish my dad had left my mom. He stayed in a really unhealthy relationship and my mom was abusive and controlling and blah, blah, blah. I wish my dad had left her. I hear this because they learn all kinds of poor, they don't get what they need. They learn what a poor marriage looks like, and then they end up recycling that marriage themselves into marrying an alcoholic or marrying a gambling addict or something like that, and they just end up repeating the same mistakes of their dad. And yes, okay, so someone here is saying my kids said that to me, right? Like, and you'd be surprised how many people come to me and are angry at their parent for letting them, knowing they end up being adults and they look back and like, Dad, you left us in that situation where you stayed married to our mom, and we're really regretful and resentful of you because you should have left. And that's more damaging because, if you had divorced this person, it would have given them some semblance of normalcy. You would have given them some semblance of like reprieve from an unhealthy person. And right now, your kids, if you're in a really abusive situation, they don't have any escape from that, you know, and no examples of a healthy parent, because the two of you, if it's truly toxic, the two of you are not healthy for each other. One of you is enabling the other one might be abusing the other one. So I know, and here's the thing, I know that's hard. I'm not saying it's easy. I know it's not easy. It's not an easy choice. It's not an easy situationally, because I know the mental trauma that it's caused you and how difficult it is. But you know, I've got even someone saying here right now, like, look, my kid said, I wish you had left. And I hear that from people, you know, why didn't you leave? Like you stayed married to someone when you knew it wasn't right. Yes, my mother was a single, so someone is saying, my mother was a single parent. I think I constantly try to impress people as a result, as my mother wasn't particularly given in affections. But it was so much worse when they were together. Just yelling all the time, throwing shit. Oh, yeah. Oh my God, right? And that's not good for kids to be around. So at least they would have one healthy role model, one healthy person. So I know, Joey, look, I know it's not easy, and I know you feel like, hey, if I sacrifice myself for my kids, then my kids will appreciate me. But your kids will appreciate you if you stand up for yourself and stand up for them and leave an unhealthy woman who is toxic and nasty and bitter to them and shitty. Like, they will appreciate that. Okay, I'll use me as an example. Okay, I forgot, like, so my biological dad, I need to say that too, because I have a biological father, but when I talk about my dad, I'm really talking about my stepdad, and I forget to clarify that with people, and they're like, wait, what? Because I talk about my dad all the time, and I'm talking positively, but my biological father is an alcoholic. Do you think for 1 second that I'm not happy that my mom left him? Because the few run-ins that I've had with my alcoholic father, God, you know, he put me down, called me ugly. Like, I can think of something that he did was really, really cruel. And maybe as dads, you guys will see how cruel this is, but one time he said, if you ate an onion, it will make you pretty. And I'm not sure what's sicker, the fact that he sat there and watched me eat the onion, or the fact that I like wanted so desperately to be pretty that I did it. Like, it's just like, it's all sick, right? So what few instances I had with him, I'm grateful that my mom didn't stick around and that I wasn't raised by, you know, a sick fucker like that. Like, I'm grateful for that, you know? I think what's triggered me, y'all, just be totally honest, like someone on Facebook recently messaged me, and like, it's ironic that this is coming up. Yeah, so like this stuff cuts deep, right? Like this stuff, like even, you know, I'm in my 40s and this stuff, you still remember this trauma. You still remember this crazy sick stuff that these people do. And I think what's triggered it too, someone this week like messaged me on Facebook, not anyone I know, saying something like, I know you're a great dad and da-da-da. I'm like, okay, lady, either you have the wrong dad or you don't really know my dad. So it's just so funny how that stuff comes up. Facebook is it's a messenger to heal those things that haven't healed within us. And so I know that, you know, my mom leaving my dad was a great decision, because what few interactions I had with him were so nasty and detrimental. I'm glad I wasn't raised with that. I'm glad at like 4 that was kind of the extent of it. So yeah, it's okay. Yeah. So I don't know why I got emotional. I think I got emotional about it because that woman on Facebook messaged me, and I was like, you don't really know him, you know? So it's really crazy how that stuff stays with you for a long, long time. And even when we do the healing work, even when we are conscious of how that stuff stays with you, it's still very emotional, you know, and I've done all the work. I know I don't value myself on my looks or on his approval, certainly not his approval, but that stuff stays with you. It stays. And so as children, you know, we don't want our children raised in those environments with addicts and abusive and emotionally abusive people. And again, that's like emotional abuse, you know, it's not even physical abuse. All right, so I hope that answered that question. So Mart asked how to get unstuck. So Mart, that's a very general question, but I would say, you know, come and talk with me, come and talk about our Men Healing from Divorce program, because we'll talk about it. Like I said, you said you've been stuck for 22 months. You didn't say explicitly like what's going on. I'm gathering that you haven't quite overcome your ex, that you're struggling to let go of your ex. So there's some specific tools and strategies that I give my clients that we get to the root of that rejection. We get to the root of those abandonment issues. And then I give you specific tools and strategies to heal that. So that's why I say at the beginning of this, I talked about how it's not a matter of time, because as you're saying, Mart, time does not heal all wounds. It's been 22 months for you and you're still stay the same. So it's not the time, it's what you do with that time. So if you do the activities, do the specific exercises that we're doing in the program, you can become unstuck. You can move forward. You can understand what has kept you. I think the problem is maybe you haven't identified what has kept you stuck. And maybe if we talk, I can, like, again, you know, people tell me like, damn, like you get to the heart of it. Yeah, it's a no BS. We get to the heart of it. I'm, you know, pretty blatant and honest. And I say that at the beginning of our calls. Look, you got to be honest with me, but here's the other thing. Like, I'm going to be brutally honest with you. And when I'm honest, you know, we can get to the heart of it. And sometimes the best way of getting through the unstuck is knowing what is keeping you stuck. And it's not always pretty, it's not always fun, but it's better than staying in this discomfort and in this pain for year after year. You're going on 2 years now, and I'm telling you, like I said, my program's 6 months, and at the end of it, people are transformed. They're a whole different person, and I mean a better version of yourself. So you don't have to stay there, and we can talk about that, and we can get you unstuck and get you moving forward. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but it sounds like you haven't been able to let go of your ex. So I'm surmising that there's some abandonment, rejection issues, and if we can get to the root of that and heal that and figure out what the cause of that is and give you a quick tool or a quick exercise to overcome that, feel better. All right, so Jack is saying, my dad stuck around, and a couple of years ago I told him that he didn't do my sister and I any favors. Yeah, I know. So people do the best, and so that's where the forgiveness exercise comes in, right? My dad was an alcoholic, and I have forgiven him. And so that's where the forgiveness comes in. Thank you, Jack, for piping in. And like, yeah, I think sometimes we think as adults that sticking around for our kids is what's best for them, but it's not. They grow up and they go, oh my God, my parents raised me in this horrible, horrible, toxic marriage. Why didn't you? And divorce was available. That was better. Yeah, and we don't see it when we're in it. And so forgiveness is a big part of that. So forgiving those that hurt us, forgiving your dad, forgiving those people that hurt us. And I've forgiven my dad for sure. My biological father, let me clarify that. My stepdad and I have an amazing relationship together, and it's because I've done a lot of healing work. And you know, he has too. It's really ironic. He's done a lot on himself too, which I really love and appreciate. And so we're very, very close. But my biological father, you know, totally forgiven, because I don't want to carry around the burden of the anger and the pain and the bitterness that him leaving us and being mean to me and being mean to my sister and being an alcoholic, it left us. So let's make sure I don't have any more questions. You guys have any more questions? Michael says, I can't wait. Yay, I can't wait either, Michael. We'll have to touch base after this. Any more questions about y'all? And healing or divorce. I think the only other person said, what are the signs of a divorce? I think Adrian had asked, what are the signs that someone is planning a divorce? Well, Adrian, what's ironic about women is that when they leave, you'll know that they're ready to leave is when they're done. And when they go quiet and silent, that's typically when women stop asking you for things or stop wanting things from you. That's usually a bad sign. You know, if they say, I don't care anymore or whatever, that's a bad sign. So if you notice that she has gone silent and there isn't any more communication, I would say that she's probably made up her mind to divorce. And another thing that a lot of men keep asking me is how to know if a woman will give another. Generally speaking, women, when they decide to divorce, it's generally they're done and there's usually no changing their mind. And not always, but a separation will lead to a divorce 90% of the time. So it's very rare unless there's some huge significant intervention that's done. And again, when I do my couples therapy, I don't do couples therapy because I don't believe in traditional therapy. I work on individuals on an individual basis, and then when you bring your best self into the relationship improves. But so it's a little bit different for me and how I work. And how can you fully let go of when your ex don't know? Yes, Charles, that's what we work on. So I hope y'all come to my workshop tomorrow, because this is what I'm going to talk about. Like the triggers, you can heal those triggers. When you heal the triggers, and that's the underlying root cause. So if you have a sense of rejection, and that goes back to your childhood, and you heal that, then your ex, when they come to you or when they say something to you, it no longer bothers you. I've got, I'm trying to think of an example. I've got a client who came to me, and so he had a self image issue, and so the ex would utilize that against him and would, make comments about his looks and stuff, and his but so here's the thing: when he worked on that with me, it no longer triggered him. Then the ex would say some comment and be like, oh, whatever, I don't it doesn't really bother me anymore, because I've worked on that, and I've improved all that, and I've worked on my self-image deep down, so that what someone says externally, and I say this all the time, y'all, you can't heal internal problems with external solutions. And that's what we're doing. You expect someone else to heal you, or you expect someone else to compliment you and make you feel better, or you've seen this, right? Like those people that go and get the plastic surgery thinking that if they look better on the outside, they'll feel better on the inside. But the truth is their insides are all fucked up. So their outside doesn't matter that they've gotten all this plastic surgery. It doesn't matter. So you have to heal what's on the inside, so that whatever your spouse says to you doesn't trigger you, right? Whenever I'm triggered, it's a sign for me that, ooh, girl, that's something you need to work on. That's a trigger. That's something I need to heal within myself. And I actually am very grateful for those. I call them messengers. When someone triggers me, it's a message. It's a messenger telling me that, hey, there's another little part of you that's giving you the opportunity to heal, giving you the opportunity to work on yourself. that's how we reframe that negative stuff, right? So, thank you, Lord, for that messenger who just, made me feel like shit. So now I'm gonna go and work on it, and I feel better. But the truth is, like, once you work on it and you heal it, and then you feel better, and you get to a more peace of mind, you feel better, you feel more confident, you feel more secure. I love it. So I'm the one that wants the divorce. Michael, that's okay. I have seen your post. Like, that's okay. Most of the time women are the ones that file first, but there's nothing wrong with recognizing that You deserve a happy relationship. You deserve better. You deserve a relationship that fulfills your needs. And I think you're the one that like other people were putting down, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what the hell? Like, divorce is like one of the worst things. I have had people come to me and that have lost their moms, lost their dads, lost their, had brain cancer, and their divorce was by far the worst thing. It is the most trying thing, that worst events, traumatic events that you can ever go through in life. So I'm sorry that people around you are not being supportive. I'm glad you found us, because I feel like this is a great group, that we are very encouraging, we are very supportive, I love that the men in here are very open about their feelings too, and that we understand this is difficult. And even if you're the one leaving, it doesn't necessarily make divorce easier or better, or like, oh, you are the one that wants it, it must be easy for you. No, not at all. Not at all. So we understand that, and it is a grieving process. Even if you're the one to file, you might be further along in your grieving process, but it is still difficult. And the loss, just because you filed, doesn't mean you're not experiencing the loss and you're not experiencing the pain. You just might be the one that has the courage to leave an unhappy relationship. And again, you know, I applaud you for that. And you see how many men are in difficult, toxic relationships and are still struggling to leave. This is not an easy decision by any stretch of the imagination. So you getting support and I hope you're finding lots of encouragement and lots of support here, because we understand. So how do you end a marriage and transition smoothly to the separation then divorce? I think doing so with dignity and respect, and always, for me, one of the things that I did that I think I'm most proud of during my divorce, which I don't know how I found this during it. I think that I wanted to look back. I always said to myself, when I look back at my divorce, and I tell my clients, when you look back at your divorce, how do you want to look back and feel about it, right? And you want to look back and feel like you were dignified and you handled yourself with grace and dignity and respect. And your ex, because no matter what, y'all, your ex is still your, children's mother. You still shared a part of your life together. You still had a journey together, and it may not be ending the way you hoped. It may be the divorce is shitty and nasty and ugh, and I hate that for you, but you can still ask yourself, I still want to go through this and hold my head high. And that was the thing for me. No matter what my ex did, I always wanted to look back and felt I was did the best that I could. And I, because there were some times like he would say some things, or he sent me a nasty email or something, and I just was like, I'm not going to respond to that. I also knew he was in a lot of pain too. And so I could kind of see that and knew that he was struggling. So I wanted to hold myself to a high standard, and I always wanted to take the high road. So that's, so we can talk about that too in our Men Healing from Divorce group program, is like how to handle yourself with grace and dignity, how to be more amicable and not get triggered, and not, because that's really the truth. Your ex knows every deep, dark secret about you, and knows all your insecurities, and they know how to trigger you. So a big part of what I do in my program is help you identify those triggers and heal those triggers, so those insecurities are not getting triggered. One of my clients, his big trigger was his son and the fatherhood, and the wife. She was toxic. Oh God, she was one of the most highly conflict people that I've worked with, and she just knew how to really twist his stuff with the fatherhood, and and he was a great dad, and so we just worked on that, knowing how to feel confident in himself, and so that she didn't trigger him anymore, because she would use that to try to get her way in the divorce. And so when it didn't trigger him anymore, he could then negotiate more confidently and more securely, and not from that place of like nastiness and manipulation. So I've been married 3 years and tried 3 years to work. So Michael, look, I'm actually very, 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 very pro-marriage. And if y'all knew me and you worked with me, you'd know I'm very pro-marriage. Like, my whole goal in working with divorced people is to prevent future divorces. And once you've had one divorce, the chance of you having another one is 70%. So I'm very pro-marriage. I don't want you to go through this again. I don't want you to have toxic relations again. I don't want you to keep repeating the cycle of unhappy relationships and difficult relationships. I want you to be fulfilled and aligned and happy in your next relationships and your next marriage. So you have to ask yourself, you're not leaving yet, right? Okay. See, baseball interrupting my life. What was I talking about? Oh, so 3 years. Okay, so look. So if you see the signs clearly, and you know you have tried and you've done everything you possibly can, and you already see the signs, like, look, this woman's not going to be giving in a relationship. This woman is saying one thing and doing another, or doing one thing and saying another. I think a lot of men in here will understand that it's, if you know clearly 3 years in that this relationship isn't working, it's better to get out now than to wait 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, and all that toxicity builds up, and you become, listen, I will say, the longer you're in a toxic relationship, abusive relationship, yes, it does take its toll on you. More and more and more. The sooner you get out of it, the better your results will be, the better your mental health will be. The longer you stay in it, the more lasting the effects are, the worse the effects are, the harder it is to overcome. I'm not saying it's impossible, because I work with lots of people come out of a 20, 30-year toxic marriages and do well, but it does take more time and it does take more work. So if you know for sure that it's over, do the honorable thing and end it respectfully, honorably, with dignity, right? Before kids are involved, before more assets are involved. I think a lot of us would so just triggered seeing her. Richard, yeah, listen, so there's a trigger of rejection there. It's a feeling of rejection, and just seeing her is triggering that within you. And so you can work on that, you can heal that, you can get to the root of it so that you're no longer triggered. Trust me on that. Jason, 3 weeks ago, she was done. I'm heartbroken. I can't accept it. So yeah, it doesn't make sense. So you're at a loss. So I think you want closure. And sometimes you're not going to get, not sometimes, I think like 99% of the time, we don't get the closure that we're wanting. I'm not sure what's going on. I'm happy to talk with you about your situation, Jason, and like help you dig through like what's going on. Why is she leaving? I do believe, so I do believe you do need to do a diagnosis of the marriage and do try to figure out what went wrong, because you can't change what you don't acknowledge. And until you figure out what went wrong in the marriage, maybe what red flags you missed, or what the communication issues were, or those types of things, you can't then go into another relationship until you figure out, and I mean, it's important you take ownership. Like, what were the signs I missed? Where did we go wrong as a couple? It's not a blame game. So let me start there. I think a lot of people think, or that I'm on team women or anything like that. It's not. I'm on everyone's team, and I'm on your team so that you come through this better and understand what went wrong, and what were the signs that you may have missed, and what were the signs that maybe your needs weren't getting met, or what is causing you to cling so tightly onto someone who you might need to let go. But it is difficult. You 3 weeks in, listen, we all understand 3 weeks in is very fresh. We know you're going through grief. We know it's difficult right now. The loss you're feeling is probably indescribable. And so we understand. So if you want to reach out to me, I'm happy to talk with you and help you deal with this process too. So is it smart to talk to, yes, Jack, yes, talk to a divorce financial advisor. Yes. And this is why I write a lot about like attorneys and how attorney is only one part of your team. You need a whole crew, man, because divorce is going to change your life, and it's going to impact you for the rest of your life. And that's one of the mistakes I made, was not reaching out, not knowing the right resources. So definitely having the right financial people. I don't know if Hirsch is on here. I know, baby, I'm coming. Yeah, I'm wrapping up and then we're going to the baseball game. You can hear my family like, come on, mama. I'm sorry I'm talking on, but y'all are asking really great questions. So yes, your attorney does not help you with financial stuff. And listen, here's why you need me on your team, because the decisions you're making are going to impact you post-divorce, and they're going to impact you legally. And your lawyer just says, okay, what do you want to do? Here's what people don't understand about your attorney. You are your boss's attorney. They are looking for you to give them answers and to tell them what to do. And unfortunately, this is such an overwhelming, difficult time. You don't know what to do. I mean, I made the mistake personally, y'all. I lost my house because I didn't know what the hell I was doing. And it devastated me financially. It destroyed my credit, which I pride myself on being a financially independent, strong person, and it destroyed my credit. I lost my home. I made a lot of mistakes. And so that's why I do what I do, to help people make better long-term decisions, because I don't want you just to survive through divorce or just get through this divorce. I want you to look back and go, oh my God, I made decisions that set me up for the best future for me and my kids. I made decisions that set me up, that didn't destroy me financially. So yes, Jack, you should talk to me. You should talk to some of my financial advisor friends that can help you and have your best interest at heart, so that you're not, destroying your future. Because your attorney is just going to say, well, are you selling the house or keeping the house? And you're like, holy crap, I don't know. It's like, I haven't even thought about that. I'm just trying to survive. I'm just trying to keep this panic attack at bay, right? So, I mean, I know, because I've been there and done that. I couldn't think straight at all. So, I'm happy to reach out to you and help you out. And I think that's also where the group program will be really beneficial, because you have a think tank of men that have been there and done that and can help you understand the ramifications of your long-term decisions. And then, wow, the courage to be the one to leave. Yeah, I think, Michael, you've been struggling because I think you feel guilty, or you feel like, for whatever reason, the circle of friends around you are I don't know. They don't understand. Unless you've been through a divorce, you don't understand how overwhelming it is. So they don't understand the grief process, but we do, Michael. So know that having the courage to leave when you know it's wrong, that's the honorable thing to do. I say that as, why drag something out? You're going to be more regretful. And again, trust me, reach out to some of the men in here who knew 3 years in, oh shit, this sink is shipping. This ship is sinking. And they stayed on it, rowing. And they're like, oh damn, 5 years later, they're still on that ship, and they still, it's just miserable. I mean, I'm not an advocate for divorce. Really, honestly, I am pro-marriage, but I'm not pro-toxic relationships. I'm not pro staying together for your kids and warping your kids and all this stuff. I am pro-happy relationships, pro-happy marriage. And if you know that you guys bring out the worst in each other, it's better to end it at 3 years than 5 years, 10 years. It's going to be better for you financially. It's going to be better for you mentally. I know I was talking mentally too, but financially, you'll be better off. Both of you. So, all right. I'm in Virginia. Yes, I'm from Virginia. So closure is something that was tearing me apart. She wouldn't discuss them. Yeah, you look, y'all, you have to give yourself the closure that you're seeking from someone else. The truth is, what I always like, I think the question is like, what could someone possibly say to you that would give you the closure on why she cheated or why she left you? You're never going to feel good about it. You have to give yourself the closure. You have to work on your own abandonment issues, your own rejection issues, your own insecurities, so that you can give yourself the closure that you're seeking. All right, y'all, my little one is telling me it's baseball time, so cross your fingers that my little guy is going to win tonight and Coach Pete will win. So yeah, let's talk, y'all. Reach out to me. You can just send me a private message and I'll set some time up. My week this week is full. Yes, someone says my ship has been sinking for 20 out of 24 years. So that's exactly what I was saying, you know. So Michael, you have our support. We're here for you. I am pro marriage, you know, and I do work with people to save their marriages, but if you know this isn't working, you know it's not going to work, and she's not willing to invest the time, energy, and do what it is that you're needed, you know, it's best for both of you to do this in an honorable way. Okay, Taryn, true, yes, true. I think the closure thing is a hard one, and you're going to have to get the closure yourself. You're going to have to give yourself the forgiveness. That will be monumental in your healing when you learn to forgive and give yourself the closure. Trust me on that one. So I'm headed off to baseball. I'll put the replay in for everyone later on tonight. Thank y'all again for being such a great group. Thanks for everything you do. Thanks for helping each other and being so encouraging and supporting. And I'm Terry, and I'm the divorce strategist here. I help you come through divorce without being legally, financially, and emotionally devastated, but even more importantly, I help you to heal from toxic relationships so you don't repeat it again. So you can go into your next chapter and find that happy, healthy relationship and that woman who loves you and deserves you and wants you for you, your authentic self. So, all right, guys, I will see you later. We'll talk soon. All right, bye-bye. Oh, bye-bye. See you tomorrow. No. See you tomorrow. Tomorrow's our workshop, 1:30. If you have not signed up, please register. And you can register still tonight. And I want you to be there live because you can ask questions and you can participate. We do participation. So, but if not, there will be a replay. So make sure you sign up. And I will see y'all soon. All right, bye.